You have to have a certain technique when we're turning double plays as a second baseman because we're interacting with the bag. We're going to get the ball, and then we got to deliver it to first. I'm Jody Reed with InsideBaseball.com, and we're going to go over those techniques right now. Again, with the mentality, I'll remind us, if we have not taken a look at the double play mentality earlier in this sequence or included in this sequence, I highly encourage you to do that because all of this is based on that double play mentality. The first thing we have to do is remember our most important thing that we want to achieve is get this out. This out is crucial. So our mentality is getting one with a bonus. However, we do want to set ourselves up so that we're in the best position, not only to get this out, but to also afford us the opportunity at the bonus. So the first thing, just like with the shortstop, the first and most crucial thing is to get to this bag and get ready. The single most important thing that happens that breaks this play down is being late. If the shortstop's late, if the second baseman's late, this play breaks down, and all of a sudden, that's how we avoid getting our out. So make sure we're on time. Make sure we're close enough to the bag in our pre-pitch positioning so that if the shortstop, the ball's hit to the shortstop and he's ready to throw it, we're able to, in position. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get to this bag on time, okay? And there's two different positions that we need to get to depending on who's feeding us this ball. Let's talk about the shortstop. If the shortstop is feeding us the baseball, what we want to do is try to align our hips more towards the infield, okay? So basically, if you want to think about it, think about the line of the bag from corner to corner, inside to out, and that's what we almost want to align our hips. We want to try to get to the bag and rotate our hips a little bit. And the reason being is because of the angle that the shortstop is going to throw us the baseball. If we get our hips lined up with him and we move to the ball, what we're going to end up doing is moving away from our target. So what we basically do is cheat with our hips. We get them rotated more towards the inside part because that will allow us to move naturally. So here's what I do basically with infielders, is I take a line and I draw it straight towards my shortstop, if you notice that. There's my line, and that's my guide. And what happens now is if the ball is on the inside of the line, that's one turn. If the ball's on the back side of the line, that's turn two. And we're going to go over those right now. Okay? Because I have my hips aligned more towards the inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the throw dictate which one of these I use. Okay? So what happens here is I get set. Now, there's another option that I'm allowing you. What do I do with my feet? There's two things that we can do. Some guys like to keep their feet off of the bag and then work onto the bag, which is fine. You probably have to be a little more athletic. You got to have quicker feet, but it's okay. If you can do it, go ahead. Personally, that's what I like to do. So what you'll do is you set your feet up and you're just off the bag, and then what's going to happen is the throw is going to be on that side of the line, and I'm going to take my left foot on the bag, receive, move towards first base, and deliver the throw. You see the footwork there. Now, the second option, and this is probably the one that's used, I'd say the most at this point in baseball, is we get to the bag and we put our left foot on the bag. I think most infielders that are in the game now probably feel more comfortable here. So we get our foot on the bag, and simply, just like when we're off the bag, is if the throw's across, we move across and we deliver the throw. So that's ultimately the second baseman turn on the inside part of the bag. It's ultimately left foot on the bag, right foot across, redirect. Let's talk about that. left foot on the bag, right foot across, and then redirect means I'm taking this left foot again and I'm stepping towards my target and then throwing. A common mistake is we keep blowing towards the middle of the infield and we end up throwing across our body. What I mean by that is we go here, right foot, catch the ball. We keep going towards the middle of the infield and you can see I end up throwing across my body. I lose power, balance, and control. So the redirect is crucial, okay? Now the shortstop throws it on this side. That's okay. We know the technique we want to use. Again, if you see the line, the throw's on the backside. Backside use. Again, doesn't matter if I stay off the bag and work on or if my foot's already on the bag. The technique is the same. What I want to do is I want to use this base to protect me. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to go step to the backside. Okay? Now this keeps the base between me and the runner. That's how it protects me. What I also want to make sure that I do is I want to make sure that I use that back step, that backside power to redirect and get my throw to first base with something on it. So what we want to do is we get to the base, the throw's back here. I want to, look at that, see that drive with that backside? I want to make sure that I get back here, drive, and redirect and throw the baseball. One thing to avoid is we get guys back here and all of a sudden they want to do this type of thing. And clearly you can see two things are happening. Number one, my momentum's going away from my target and my feet are clearly not in a powerful position. That's why it's important on the backside the backside turn, you use a strong right leg to get us there, boom, and drive and get that throw over to first base. And then ultimately, the last turn, the third turn from our shortstop is, I don't want to say it's casual, but the routine turn. And what that is the ball's hit hard. I've got a slow runner at the plate, probably a slow runner here. I have plenty of time. What I can do is I can ultimately just get to the bag, receive the ball, and throw it because the runner poses no threat. The ball's hit hard, I have plenty of time. Now, I want to stay focused and I want to concentrate on finishing this play and making a good throw, but the technique with the feet, they're really not as important. My shortstop gets me the ball, it's here, boom, and I finish the play. So that's more casual. Now remember, those are the turns from the shortstop, okay? What I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you some turns from the third base. It's different, okay? It's different angles. So what I'm going to do, we're going to erase this line because now we have a new line. We're coming from third base. So again, we're going to draw a line here towards my third baseman. And this is going to allow us to do something different with our hips, okay? Remember, with the shortstop, we wanted to get our hips rotated around a little bit so that we could flow here because of the angle, which allowed us to do that. With the third baseman, because the throw is going to be more in line with the bag, and it's going to be less of angles that I have to work with, I can square my hips up. So that's why I draw this line right here. And I square my hips up with my target, with my third baseman. And now again, just like with the shortstop, whatever side this ball's on is going to dictate what my turn is. So literally, I'm waiting for the throw to tell me which turn I'm going to use. Make sure that you allow that to happen, because when we try to force something, well, you know what can happen. All of a sudden I'm saying, oh, I'm going across the bag and the throw's back here, when the throw told me to go to the backside. So be on time, expect a bad throw, and then just react to the throw. So the techniques from the shortstop, almost the same the techniques from the third baseman, almost the same as the shortstop. We have our line. We either have our foot off the bag or on the bag. Again, it doesn't matter. Personal preference, whatever works for you, okay? So we got our foot on the bag, throws on the inside, same thing. We want to get here, step, throw, redirect. Much easier, it's probably easier footwork wise from the third baseman because the angles, clearly you can take a look, okay? Here's the angles I'm working with. That's why it's much easier with the shortstop. There you go. That explains why we need to rotate those hips, because the angle is so broad. So anyway, back to the third baseman. We've gone across the bag. Now it's time to go back. Same thing right here. The throw's on this side, simple. Same technique as before, strong backside so that we can power and redirect. We know we have the base protecting us. Boom, right there. Throw. And then, just like with the shortstop, the casual, not casual, we'll say the routine. We won't say routine, the one that we use when we have time, okay? So ultimately, those are the 4 different turns for the second baseman, 2 from the shortstop, 2 from the third baseman. Now you're ready to make those plays. So if you want, let's see this in action. Now that's how it's done. And with this information, you'll be doing it just like that too.